YNA is a podcast that focuses on mental health and other aspects relating to what goes on inside a person's head. We are by no means professionals in this field and only aim to make these conversations about mental health easier for the listener. Nothing we say or talk about is professional advice unless explicitly mentioned. If you seek professional advice or experience symptoms of an actual mental health disorder, please contact a professional or visit your closest center for behavioral health. You are not alone.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. And this time, our topic is self-esteem. So before we get started, I want to read the definition of what self-esteem is.
Let us know.
In psychology, the term self-esteem is used to describe a person's overall sense of self-worth or personal value. In other words, how much you appreciate and like yourself. It involves a variety of beliefs about yourself, such as the appraisal of your own appearance, beliefs, emotions, and behaviors. How do you feel about that definition?
Seems pretty spot on. I mean, of course, self-esteem is all just decided by all that.
Do you love yourself, Cheyenne?
I think to some extent, but it definitely took some work, and it just took a lot to get to this point of where, like, I'm okay with myself, to say the least. But yeah, I would definitely say at this point, I do love myself.
I never loved myself in the beginning. I had to learn. I think everybody learns to love themselves. And then you find your own way of loving yourself, especially if you find something that really, really helps you boost your confidence about yourself. Mine is taking pictures, doing podcasts, listening to music helps me raise my self-esteem. I love when the rappers and they all like talk about the good things about themselves. Like I get it. I understand that some of them are bragging or whatever, but
Hmm.
at the end of it all, like they're doing something that they love to do that helps them boost their confidence and helps them get a better mental health.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that it, like, essentially is just like finding your purpose in life, feeding into it, and kind of going out of your way and doing things that really bring up your mood and things like that. But on the other side of that spectrum, what would you say would be the things that kind of deter you from feeling this way or having that self-confidence? Like what could be the exact opposite of a confidence boost for you?
The people around you and the criticism that you hear sometimes, I think criticism plays a very important role in how you look at yourself, how well you take criticism. If you take criticism like it's something that actually helps you boost your confidence, because I know
Hmm.
there's things like if someone were to comment something about this podcast and tell me things of ways that I could do this better, that would be great. And I mean, I understand that's criticism or that's an opinion,
Yeah.
but that's important because if you want to advance in life, you do need opinions, you do need your criticism, but hopefully, because when I say criticism, it sounds like such a bad word.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's criticism and then there's constructive criticism, and I think constructive criticism really is like it's just something that's needed. I mean, at times it can be harsh, but it's definitely not just the raw form of criticism where you're not kind of adding in your 2 cents to something and just kind of putting somebody down. So,
Social media doesn't help at all.
oh, it definitely does not, especially not in today's world.
Not in today's world at all. I feel like everybody's and honestly, like I'll say it straight on this podcast. I've been like that on social media.
Oh yeah,
How many
yeah.
likes I get, comments I get,
Hmm.
who's following me, what I'm because it's all about your self-image. And social media has this other world where you can create your own self-image. If you don't like what you see in the mirror, you can create a whole different self-image on social media and people can look at you a complete other way.
Yeah, I definitely think that social media in today's world definitely feeds into those really high highs that we can get, but on the other end, it really gives us those low lows when you're down and out, like you're just going out bad, and maybe that one person didn't like what you posted, or these kind of like little like mental games that social media plays.
It's the mental games that really affect you the most that affect your mental health. So if you're listening to this and you're on social media right now, stop, put down your phone, take a deep breath, and please allow yourself a break from that negative mental health status that you keep receiving from Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use. Sometimes it can be good. Sometimes it helps boost confidence, of course. But at the same time, when you ask for something, it's going to ask for something back. And it could possibly hurt you in the end. So please be careful. If you do use a lot of social media, I completely understand. I'm a huge Instagram guy. I love Instagram, one of my favorite apps. However, I know there's things in the way that they try to attract you and how they attract you, and it can really hurt. So please be careful out there. One thing I do have to say, another quote: self esteem can play a significant role in your motivation and success throughout your life. Low self esteem may hold you back from succeeding at school or work because you don't believe yourself to be capable of success. And you should never think that, because having the capabilities of having success is really important. And remember, you can achieve success in anything you do. If someone else did it, you can do it too. And if someone else hasn't done it, then you can also succeed at it too. Don't allow negativity and people telling you you can't and hurting your confidence. Don't allow people to do that to you, because you can do whatever you set your mind to. I promise you. Allow yourself to think that you can do whatever you set your mind to. Please remember that.
Also, I would like to talk about the other aspect of self-esteem, kind of going a little bit away from social media. What are things in your everyday life that jumping back to the topic of like how it affects you, I would like to like kind of talk about the more positive effect like something in your daily life can have on you. Like what are some things that you could run into?
You know what's crazy? When you walk past somebody and they smile at you,
Oh
and
yeah.
you feel like you feel a little bit better.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know what it is. Like
It's
when
a confidence
yeah,
boost.
it's a confident. When someone walks past you and they smile at you, it just, like, I smile back, of course. Sometimes I'm not even paying attention and I'm just like, oh, that person smiled at me. Oh, I'm gonna smile at the
Hmm.
next person. You honestly, the next time you're walking down the street, just smile at somebody. Like, and just
Yeah.
because you don't understand how much that can help. Someone can going through the roughest day of their life. And just because you smiled at them, that short 2 seconds could have just pretty much helped boost their confidence and their self esteem just a little bit more. So please be positive in just not only your body language, but also your facial expressions, because it's important for other people as well that are hurting. What do
Yeah.
you do that you think helps boost your confidence or self esteem?
Um, I think that definitely just like doing things that I love to do, like making music or drawing or anything like that, maybe talking to my significant other or watching videos on YouTube, anything like that that I can kind of like put into my own hands of how like I mold how my day is going to be and how I'm going to feel. But just like you mentioned, like kind of like that little act of kindness, whether it's smiling at somebody or receiving a smile or somebody waving at you like as you're driving by, like it's definitely a good boost to how you feel throughout the day. Another thing that I do, like if I'm feeling like I'm kind of in a low spot or low point in life, I sometimes just go on like walks, try to do like some activity to separate my thoughts, kind of like just go more towards a muscle memory of something that I'm doing. So whether it's like walking or I'm playing basketball or something like that, something along those lines. Definitely setting yourself up to the point like where you're not really thinking that deeply can like help you. Cause I mean, sometimes like you're just alone and like, all you have are negative thoughts, like fucking like in that Joker movie, like he says. In retrospect, it's a little bit comedic, but it is actually like a line that holds a lot of truth. It's just one of those things where it's just all about the way that you set yourself up. Of course, another factor could be those random people you walk by, things like that. But what about yourself? Like, what are things that you could do?
So I have a list of what high self esteem looks like and what negative self esteem looks like. And so this is for everybody. If you don't know if you have high self esteem or low self esteem, so we're going to start with high self esteem. You avoid dwelling on past negative experiences,
Hmm.
express your needs, feel confident, have a positive outlook on life, say no when you want to, see overall strengths and weaknesses and accept them. And the negative and the low self esteem aspects are: you believe that others are better than you find it difficult expressing your needs, You focus on your weaknesses. You frequently experience feelings such as shame, depression, or anxiety. You have a negative outlook on life. You have an intense fear of failure. You have trouble accepting positive feedback. You have trouble saying no. You put other people's needs before your own. You struggle with confidence. That's kind of crazy how the negative list is way longer than
It's
the
there's
positive
just so
list.
much more on it.
It's
Wow.
just so you feel like the way that a negative thought has the impact on your mental mindset is massive. So remember, when you do have a negative thought that pops up into your head, if you reinforce that right away with a positive outlook, you can change the way you're thinking.
Oh yeah, like 100%, you'll be 10 times better.
Yeah,
Like no matter what else like goes on throughout the rest of your day. And I think that it's also important to mention that like if you fit into one of these categories and you're leaning more towards the negative side, it shouldn't be one of those things that, you should be kind of thinking down on yourself for even being in that category and you just not really realizing it. But if any of those kind of like resonated in your soul, like that resonated in your persona, just take the time to do those said things that we mentioned that you can do, like those mental exercises, or take a moment, take a break, like go out and do what you love to do, because really this is your life and it's not dictated by how others live it for you. And I mean, I think sometimes when you're in that negative headspace, it's just really easy to kind of spiral down and out, and it's not a good experience. Really the one of the main first steps is just having the confidence to get yourself there and to do these mental exercises, or basically just go out and have what you view as your idea of fun.
exactly. Do something that helps you. Maybe even become a better person. Again, smiling on the streets when you walk past someone, just being kind, helping open a door for somebody else. Just being kind can do so much for your mental health. Just making someone else's day can bring you energy. And it's crazy how we think like opening a door for somebody or some like those small acts can have such reflections of how important mental health is. If you can just do the small things, you don't even have to do big things. You don't like to bike, you don't like it, I get it. I understand there's a lot of things, and when negative thoughts take over, it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to think positively. I completely understand. I've been there. I've downed myself to points where I've known that this is bad, and I get it, and it's hard to pull yourself out. But really, if you can just focus on just the small things and build at it, because if you do the small things every day, they're gonna add up to something big one day. And they're gonna be big feelings of kindness for yourself. And positive outlooks on life are important. I get it. The world is not in the most beautiful place right now, clearly. But there's no point of being a pessimist and looking at the negative outlook in life. I would rather be positive and be wrong than be negative and right. So, what I'm going to say now is I've always got your back. I'm here for you. You're not alone in this fight. Don't think you're alone in this fight because I got you. How does that sound, Cheyenne?
I think that was very well put. Thank you so much for speaking on self-esteem.
Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you on the next episode.
See you later.